take a look at the following program that I'm about to write. Whoops. Now I'm not going to actually run this program because I don't really need to. What I want to demonstrate is that very often when we're counting, for example, we want to increment a variable's value by 1. So if you look at the program below, you see, or in front of you, num equals 1, then we add 1 to num, then we add 1 to num again, and so on and so forth. This is so common to do in programming that there's actually a special operator for it. It's called the increment operator. Let me demonstrate how it works. The operator for increment is the plus plus operator, or the increment operator, 2 plus signs. Watch what happens. Let's run this program. And we should see 1. I'll take it a second to compile, and then 2. So you can use the increment operator to increment a variable value by 1. An interesting thing about the increment operator is you can put it at the beginning before a variable in what we call prefix mode, or you can put it postfix or after the variable, and you still get the same result. We can also decrement variables using the decrement operator, which is, and you probably figured this out without me telling you, minus minus. So we can decrement num by 1. So we'll see 3 and then 2. And we can also put the decrement symbol behind the operator, postfix, if you want to call it that, and you get the same result. So you're probably wondering which one should you use. And in a situation like this, where it's just a statement on its own, it really doesn't matter. Here's where it does matter. Let's set up an example. I'm going to start over again here. So we assign the value of 1 to A, we declare B, then we tell B to get A's value after it's been incremented. So let's see what we get for A and B. So A is 2 and B is 2, because what happened was we incremented A to 2 and then we assigned it to B. Now watch what happens when we put the increment operator behind A. Now we get A is 2 and B is 1. So what happened? Let's leave that up there where we can see it. There we go. When the increment operator is after the variable, then the first thing that happens is the value of A is assigned to B, and then A is incremented to 2. So it's a not so subtle difference when the increment operator is used in an assignment statement. So you have to be very careful how you're using it. And the decrement operator works the very same way. But for very basic incrementing and decrementing of variable values, the increment and the decrement operators are both very useful. Finally, I want to demonstrate what we call composite values, or I'm sorry, composite operators. If I want to increment num by a value other than 1, but I don't want to have to write out the whole statement, like you see right there, then I can use the composite assignment operator. In this case, it's for plus. And so we're saying increment num by 2, but we don't have to write out all the other parts. We can also do minus equal to decrement by a given value. We can do times equal to multiply num times a certain value. We can do divide equal. And we can even, and that's probably where we're going to stop, right there. So those are considered the composite assignment operators, and those are used when you want to increment or decrement or do some other arithmetic other than a value of 1, other than a simple increment by 1 or decrement by 1. And so with that, we've completed this little lesson on the increment, decrement, and composite assignment operator.